it's Aubree-Anna, and I just completed season 1 of Country Music News with Aubree-Anna, featured on the Country Network platform. A big thank you to all of my sponsors, and a special thank you to all of you who watched and supported my show. Although 13 shows were produced for season 1, in this video presentation, I'll be sharing just a few clips of these wonderful country music recording artist guests for season 1. The heartbeat of the show is what I like to call the big cause. This is where the artists share with the audience the charitable organizations that are important to them. At the end of each episode, I share a song that I wrote called Superhero, because these artists are superheroes. And you know what? We have a superhero in all of us. So please enjoy my brief clips of these wonderful country music recording artists as they share their big cause. This part of the show and this outfit is brought to you by our great friends at Boot Barn.
In these days, I'm doing as much fly fishing as possible. And I'm at the coolest bait store I've ever seen. Excited to be featured on CMT like last week.
Actually going to share with everybody our interview that we got to do a little while back. Your Outlaws and Legends event that you put on.
A kind of a cultural event. The legendary names, mix them with kind of hot Texas music guys and a lot of my friends, and we help a nonprofit in the meantime, which has been Richie Boys Ranch.
Read so many, I don't know, donkeys and horses and bears, oh my. Let's talk about some of your animals.
Trying to get a rideable camel this week too, and so we'll see.
Don't know why I'm doing this move. Coffey started singing and playing in college, which led him to performing on stage to becoming a viral sensation on YouTube. He has partnered with charities like Keegan's Promise, who's also in the studio with us today. There's so many just loving people out there
that want to be parents. There's babies that want to be loved.
Yes.
And so she's really bridging the gap. We're talking about real country. Golden Corral is real country.
Vassar and Jeffrey Steele, everybody.
I got out of college and I moved straight here. And I've never had another plan, and I love it.
These Merle Haggard songs, and I fell in love with it. And my dad was always telling me to play country music, but I couldn't tell my rock and roll friends I was playing country.
My first concert was Merle Haggard. It's called the Miller Home for girls. And of course, I'm all girls. No dad, just my mother, my grandmother, my sisters, my nieces, my daughter. So it's all girls in my family. Then I do a golf tournament every year. And we raise a good amount of money for that deal.
My son passed away in 2007. My son Alex, he was my youngest of 4 kids, my only boy. And he was 13 and a half. He got in an accident and obviously just, tore the family apart. And this biggest moment of your career, and I've lost my son. That was like an eye-opening night for me where I kind of went, I gotta do something with this. He was like a real big skateboarder and filmmaker, really talented and a great little singer and piano player. He's learned how to play piano. At-risk youth, inner city, or anywhere, but that maybe they only had one parent or no parent, nowhere to go after school. They could go skate. To get through the program, they have to mentor the next kids coming in.
Chevelle is season 15 winner of the NBC TV show The Voice.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited. I just fell in love with music from a very young age and knew that that's what I wanted to do. She's not on The Voice anymore, so I haven't straightened my hair since. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope to meet you in person soon, and we can share our curly hair tips with each other.
Joining us is Emmy-nominated, triple ASCAP award-winning singer-songwriter Julie Wood-Vassar. And alongside Julie, Kellis Collins, who has also had major artist credits for her songs such as Phil Vassar and Reba McEntire.
I was singing since I was young, churches everywhere with my brother. Moved to Nashville and got a publishing deal at EMI Music.
I grew up in a really small town, population 3,000, Petula, Texas.
We're going to discuss one of those, which is Dolly's Imagination Library.
Words matter, education is important to us.
In Nashville, I had a chance to sit down and chat with Grammy-nominated Aimee Mayo.
So happy to be here. I always wanted to be a songwriter from the time I was 8.
Songwriting to now your first book. You are now an author.
I just hope that it empowers people and makes them see, I can get out of this. I can change this. All my greatest gifts have come wrapped in ribbons of pain.
You have a purpose, and there's so many people who don't understand that they have a purpose in life. So the fact that you were able to put on your bootstraps and be able to rise above is a message that people have got to hear. What a beautiful title, because God was definitely watching after you. And singer-songwriter Jay Allen, flagship artist for Verge Records. Jay Allen went viral after releasing a song he wrote for his mother, who passed away at age 54 from early onset Alzheimer's. Alongside the National Alzheimer's Association, he's helped raise over $35 million for the charity.
She'd pick me up from practice every day after school, and she'd drive home. She'd crank down the windows, and we'd, listen to, what I call the, the legends of country music. I just started writing every day. I started a band. We actually had a studio right next door to here. Alzheimer's is the means you basically, layman's terms, you lose your memory over time. For her, it was a short period of time. They call it early onset because she was so young. She was only 54 when she passed away. That was the hardest thing I've ever experienced, watching, my mother, my whole world. I was the oldest, the only son.
I'm out on the road with George Thorogood, ZZ Top, Dirk Bentley.
What was it that was happening behind the scenes that was slowly crumbling?
Well, I was drinking with people. I started doing drugs. Well, now, 9 years into recovery.
Congratulations, by the way. That's amazing.
I did it! One day at a time. One day. The message is that there's help out there. AA.org, NA.org, any 12-step program, Al-Anon, we've talked about, churches.
Jenna is a talented singer-songwriter who has a new West style of country music. From opening gigs with Zac Brown Band and Mason Ramsey, Paulette is becoming an unstoppable force.
I grew up ranching family, Oklahoma-Texas line. My grandfather and I would listen to George Strait albums in his truck when we were checking cattle.
You recently had a big thing happen because you were able to go on tour with Mason Ramsey, as they call Lil Hank.
Yes, it's called the Step Up Women's Network. They've encouraged girls from less fortunate communities to be all that they can be, and so many of these girls end up being wildly successful, and it just makes me so happy because I had men and women in my life growing up who really did that for me.
I love Boot Barn.
Yes.
And they are incredible people over there.
It's representing Wonder West, which is a new brand of theirs, showing people what it can look like to dress Western these days, that it can be cool.
Thank you so much for watching the highlights from the first season of Country Music News with Aubree-Anna. Season 2 is coming soon. This next season will focus more time given to the artists to speak about their big cause, which will better serve you, our viewing audience. Now I'll end this video the way I did every episode of Country Music News with Aubree-Anna. Remember to take the time to do something nice for someone today. Whether it be an encouraging word, a smile, or a hug, we all need a little love. Until next time, see you soon. Take a deep breath in.